So, from the pre-read materials and looking at the solution, you guys focus in on that analytic space for governments and for organizations. Tell me a little bit about kind of how the on-chain solution does that with regard to the Ripple CBDC platform.
Absolutely. And you're absolutely right. We're basically an analytic layer on top of the XRP ledger, right? And on top of like any sort of like blockchain protocol. So we ingest a lot of the raw blockchain data, and we have several AI algorithms that we developed in house that help us make sense of that data and help our customers make sense of that data. So specifically, there's very specific use cases that these can be used for. In our case, we provide data that facilitates all the anti-money laundering practices that certain companies need to apply internally because of regulation, right? So if a company is launching a digital asset, they need to have they need to make sure they're not transacting with a sanctioned individual, or they're not transacting with like a hacker wallet, right? And same goes on the government side, right? Well, a little bit differently, but on the government end, there's regulators and there's law enforcement that we work with. Law enforcement agency, it's pretty straightforward. There's a hack, there's misbehaviors, there's suspicious behaviors. There needs to be they need to investigate these sort of behaviors and ideally like bring it to court and build cases. So we give them like an analytics tool to actually look at these bad behaviors. And for example, a customer loses money due to a hack, and we give law enforcement agencies all across the world a tool to go and investigate where this money is going, and ideally get to source of liquidations such as exchanges and collaborate to actually get that money back. We also help on any sort of like regulatory effort. Of course, needs to be backed by strong analytics. So we provide strong analytics around digital assets and smart contract and CBDC as part of this effort to regulators to help regulate the market and make sense of it.
So, you mentioned AI, obviously a hot topic right now. Can you just double click on some of those algorithms and how you're applying AI to sort of augment that on-chain solution and what you're doing with the CBDC platform from Ripple?
Yeah, that's a great question. And on the very high level, you know we live in the era of data and big data specifically, and blockchain data is massive. There's a lot of like raw data that is generated every second on the blockchain that is very hard to make sense of. So we use AI as a tool to help ourselves and our customers actually make sense of that data. That translates into different sort of use cases, right? On one end, for example, we provide an AI generated risk score to entities and wallets on the blockchain based on like their on-chain behavior. You can imagine there's millions of wallets out there transacting, millions of entities. If you were to actually like manually screen those entities and manually like try to go and find their behavior, that would be an impossible job. You would need like so many people to do that. So we have a patent that we for AI algorithm that we developed to actually rescore these wallets and entity on the blockchain. So that's one area where we use AI.